How's it going, everybody? Show starts in 2 minutes. We're going to take a look at the latest college football playoff rankings show, which thank God ESPN is making it faster this year. They're not dragging this thing out for 30 minutes. And then we'll get right to the ACC show with me and your boy C-Dog. The question on the screen right now is, who is the highest ranked one-loss team tonight? Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, and I forget what the other one was. It went off the screen now. Oh, I'm going to say probably Oregon. I'm going to say Oregon. Oh, look at that. Clemson plays Alabama tonight in basketball at 9:30. All right, let's get this thing started. I think I'm ready. Turn this music off. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the ACC show. How you doing? Happy Tuesday and all that good stuff. Thank you for joining us tonight for the 93rd episode of the ACC show. I can't believe it's been 93 times we've done this, C-Dog. You believe that?
No, I can't, but I guess if you look at it, we've been doing it for like, what, 2 years now?
Well, 3 now.
3?
Yeah.
No, can't be 3.
Yeah.
I've only been on YouTube for 3 years.
Well, last season wasn't the first season.
No, it was the season before. Right?
Yeah, so that's 3 years. 3 seasons, 3 years.
3 seasons, yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. I guess I was on, maybe I've been on 4 years? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You have, because you were on. You came on shortly before the first Slob Olympics in 2020. So you were on in 20, 21, 22, and 23. So 4 years.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, you don't even know how long you've been on here.
Dang. Man, that's a long time.
Yeah.
I've been running around saying I've been on here for 3 years. It's been 4. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
it's been the time of my life.
Are you saying that sarcastically or what?
No. My YouTube channel is a big part of my life. I love doing it, and it's been a great thing for me. So, yeah,
I second that. It hasn't all been great, but for the most part, I could say it's been a pretty good experience.
The people I've met,
yeah, right,
have been great. Yeah,
and
things are turning up for me football wise as well.
All right, Slim says first Slobs is 21. Yeah, okay, but still. So he was on in 21, 22,
I think
23.
This is my third year. This is my third year. I'm looking at my videos now. I've only done 2 years anniversary. I can't believe how long my hair was this time last year. God.
Yeah.
Why didn't anybody tell me to cut that shit?
I think we did.
What was I thinking, dude? I can't believe none of y'all told me to cut that.
Well, to be fair, you started growing it out when there was no barbershops open.
Yeah.
My hair actually got pretty long. Well, for me, it didn't get anywhere near as like yours.
That is
but I mean,
crazy, dude.
I had the longest hair I've ever had in my life that year. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely the longest hair I've ever had. I can't believe what I'm seeing right here. If you scroll back and look at my my 2-year anniversary, that is, man, That's rough.
All right, so
glad I wised up and cut that shit.
The ranking show is about to come on. Before that happens, though, because they do it pretty, they seem to just like start popping them up there pretty quickly. Let's see who's in here. Real quick, it takes a roll here. Matt Dummett, Ultra Magadog, 3rd and 8. He says it's 3rd and 8. Clemson has to get this. Has to get what? And what is this? Nittany TV, Pete Magaha, Let the Big Dog Eat, Lisa Sims, Timmy B, Michael Treese, Andy J, Guaranteed Tiger W, no way Brad Brownell would let us down, right? well.
I still love you, but I don't like you, bro.
That's an inside Clemson joke there. All my Clemson Tater fans will get that. I think I said Timmy B already. Slim Shady Canes, CJ, Mike Popcorn Porter says go Jackets.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so here we go. I already missed 25 through 20. Jesus Christ. 20 is Oregon State, 19 NC State, 18 Oklahoma State, 17 Notre Dame, and 16 Iowa at 10-2 Iowa.
NC State's having a pretty good year.
They are. Look who's in here. There's what's up, Roger Dodger, K-Dog, Octavian, an Octavian sighting. 15 Arizona. Congratulations to Zona, man. Great year for the Wildcats. 14 Louisville after they crapped the bed against Kentucky. 13 LSU. 12 Oklahoma. 11 Ole Miss. Where was Clemson? Or did they even make the top 20? They were 24 last week before they, had a win against a terrible South Carolina team. I don't know. Man, Louisville, we'll get to that in a minute. Louisville, you had one job.
Did I not call it?
You did.
I did. I was like, I'll believe it when I see it. And I mean, of course they let us down.
Penn State 10. Yeah, I mean, picking Kentucky to beat Louisville is not exactly going out on a limb because they seem to lose to them every year.
Yeah.
Even when they're better, which they were this year, and they still lost.
Yeah, unbelievable.
They might have screwed the ACC over. 9, Mizzou. Great year for Mizzou. Some of these teams, I mean, you look in the top 15, I mean, some of these teams that normally are, perennial 7 or 8 win teams had great seasons. It's funny, Penn State's a top 10 team at the end of the season, and there's still people that are saying that he should be fired. James Franklin. I don't know what they're thinking. Alabama 8. Is Alabama at 8 every week for like the past 6 weeks? They don't move up. They don't move down. They just stay right where they are. Texas 7. So the question before they started the show was the highest ranked one-loss team. I think it's going to be Oregon.
Yeah. Get Texas in there too.
Or last week they flipped. They dropped that Florida State down 1 from 4 to 5. I don't know what do you think they're going to do this time? You think they'll stay at 5 with a struggle win against Florida?
Shit, I don't know.
Oh, I don't.
They won't put Oregon or something above them. You know what I mean? They won't do that.
You mean below them?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oregon's probably going to be in the top 4.
They're definitely not moving up though.
Or they might stay at 5.
So.
Anyway, now they have to sit here and talk about it for an hour. But yeah, Louisville had one job. And not only that, they should have won that game. That was a tough way to lose that game.
Dude, man, unbelievable. What was wrong with them? I mean, I don't know. You just have a year where you're everything's kind of culminating for you, and you got to be able to freaking close the deal there, man. But unfortunately, I saw it coming. It just is what it is.
All right, here's the top 6. So 6 is Ohio State after their loss to Michigan. Moved down 4 spots because of that. And now they're sitting at home watching championship week, which means their season's probably over. Well, they'll go to a New Year's Six bowl game, but still a great season for the Buckeyes. I mean, all things considered. There you go. 5 Oregon. Look at that. So they are the highest ranked one-loss team. So that's going to put Florida State at 4. Of course, they're going to go 1 through 4 now, instead of going backwards. There's no way Florida State's not 4. So I'm surprised that Oregon, despite their one loss, isn't ranked ahead of Florida State. And this does somewhat prove my theory that it doesn't matter. They claim the best teams. They claim they rank them in the order from best, to worst. But they don't, because on a neutral field right now, Oregon would be favored probably by 2 scores against Florida State. But Florida State's undefeated. So
right.
Florida State 4.
Well, they do say that winning games is their most important criteria.
Yeah, I know. But there's still people saying that Florida State could get left out of the playoff next week, after the rankings next week, even if they win the ACC and go undefeated, which I don't see that happening. And I know somebody left me a comment from my show last night that said, well, Kirk Herbstreit disagrees with you. Well, I mean... 3 Washington. I think Michigan's going to be number 1.
Really?
Yeah. Michigan will be number 1 because they had a better win, right? Over a top 5 team last week. And Georgia had a struggle win against Georgia Tech. Oh, Michigan is 2. I'm surprised. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, so Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Washington 3, Florida State 4, Oregon 5, Ohio State 6. There's your top 6. There's your top 25. Anything you disagree with there?
Not at all, Bully. Wait, is Georgia at what? What's the Georgia at?
1.
No, I disagree with that for sure.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I don't think they should be there, bro.
So this will be a good segue into this next part. So you went to the game last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you go with Rec Talk, or did you guys go separately and just meet up?
We went separately. He does his own thing on game days. So.
What do you mean by that?
We went separately, but I mean, he's got his own thing that he's been going to games for years and years before, he came on here. So he goes with his dad, and he's got season tickets and.
Oh, so you didn't sit with him?
No.
Who'd you sit with? By yourself?
No, I went with a bunch of friends.
Oh, okay.
We did do a tailgate together. We did do a tailgate, which was awesome. We had, a bunch of Tech fans come hang out with us, and get, people who watch the channel come and hang out with us. And that was a good time. So, we set up, I got to make a video. I've got, a vlog video from it, which I'll come out with. But it was a good time. We did the whole tailgate thing. We had we had TV set up, and it was a freaking good time. And then I went in there. My brother went with me, and my wife, and then our other friends went too. So it was a good time. I went, I didn't go expecting anything really. I just went to put gold in the stands, which is not something that a lot of fan bases like have to deal with. Worried about your fan base showing up, But that's an issue that we've been having at Georgia Tech with the freaking Bulldog fans. And there were a lot there. They pretty much took over the upper stands. Now the bottom, the lower bowls were pretty competitive. Tech fans with them. Don't let them tell you otherwise. But in the upper stands, I was surrounded by Bulldog fans. It felt like an away game. It was bad.
So if you had to put like a percentage on it, not just, for the entire stadium, what would you think?
The entire stadium, it was probably, it might have been like 65%, 70% Georgia fans.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't
still a lot.
Sold out. It wasn't sold out either. The lower bowl wasn't even sold out. Like so the side, and one of the end zones was, but the south end zone, it's like bleachers. It wasn't, there was like nobody there, and, it just wasn't sold out. So it's kind of a hard call, but the student section for Tech was packed. The home side was packed with Tech fans, and then the visitor side had a pretty decent amount of Tech fans. But they have their like visitors corner, and then the upper stands is where they really showed it was bad. So I went to do what I could, and it was awful, man. Those Bulldog fans, I don't know if you've ever had the displeasure of interacting with any of them.
I have. I went to the game a couple of years ago in Charlotte.
They are the worst. Oh my God. And I guess the fact it was a night game made it worse, because they were all, there were several that were drunk and just loudmouth, and like some, like a lot of them got, were getting kicked out and stuff. Like there was a fight right behind me. I didn't get the fight, unfortunately, but I did get the guy like yelling at the security guard, all pissed off. I don't know exactly what happened, but they're just a bunch of drunk, horrible, I mean, they're just awful. They're just awful. So, I mean, I don't really blame a lot of people for not wanting to go do that. And if you don't have like the Zen patience of like a Buddhist monk, then you can very easily get in a fight because it's rough. But so I went in there. You know me, I don't have the patience of a Buddhist monk. So I had to literally do like meditation beforehand. And
you meditated?
I was like, no, but I was just like, I had to get the right mindset in it. And I was like, no matter what happens, I am going to this game. I'm going to put gold in the stands. I am going to cheer as loud as I can. I'm going to keep a positive attitude. I'm not going to let them get me down. And it worked out pretty good. I mean, this rivalry has been lopsided in the past few years, and it's been demoralizing pretty bad some of these years. They come in there, they take the stands over, and we just get blown off the field. Well, I think a lot of the Tech fans that went, had the same mindset as I did, because the Georgia fans were loud, especially in the beginning of the game, but the Tech fans were just as loud. It was almost like a neutral site, which is as best as you can hope for with the way things have gone lately. But this is a battle we've been fighting, and it's rough, but it wasn't a home game for them this year. It was at best it was a neutral site. So
yeah,
our fans were loud. They showed up. It was great. And the Georgia fans tapered off. I mean, they started leaving in the third quarter. They're pussies. They're soft. They don't like what they see. So they leave, and they got quieter. I mean, they were still, there was a lot of them, so they were still loud. But they're just soft. They can't take it. They can't take any sort of adversity. They don't like that shit. They want to come in there and blow you out. And if you don't, and they want to be able to get drunk and bark at you. And they don't like it when the other team, fights back. And we had a freaking comeback mounted, dude. And we about freaking had those bastards. Just didn't quite have we didn't have the horses really this year. And a lot of people are talking about a moral victory. Well, nobody's going around bragging about losing. You can be, I can be, I'm glad it's better than getting blown out. Right. But they're the ones that are running around talking about, I can't tell you how many comments I had, this week about, we're going to have the starters out by halftime. And, this is a warm-up game, tune-up game for the SEC championship. We own you. We own your stadium, blah, 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 blah. Well, they look stupid now. And then, as soon as you bring that up, that they talk all that shit, as soon as you bring it up, that now they look stupid and they were wrong, well, they moved the goalpost. They're like, well, you're just bragging that you only lost by 8. Well, no, I'm not. You're the one that looks stupid. And, you want to make all these excuses too. That's another thing. The excuses. Like, they have all these excuses of why, they struggled against shitty old Tech. And, it is what it is. We're not a very good team. We're 6-6. We lost a freaking Bowling Green and Boston College this year. Like, we're not very good. We have a putrid defense. And yet, we came in there and absolutely pushed you around on the lines of scrimmage, ran all over you, most yards you've given up rushing since 2018, and scared you. And and nobody wants to admit, they don't want to admit they got their asses whooped on the lines of scrimmage because they're the big bad Bulldogs. But you did. So that's very funny to me. I've been poking fun at them. And we're going to get these bastards here soon, sooner rather than later. And I don't look so stupid for saying that, too. I don't look so stupid anymore.
All right. Yeah, I saw your video that you posted. So,
yeah, dude, and I'm not like exaggerating. Like, the excuses that they have made, I can't tell you how many people I've seen blaming the refs. It's unbelievable, man. And blaming injuries and blaming the refs, all this stuff that they get onto, they'll get onto Ohio State. Ohio State will blame the refs for not calling that targeting or whatever, or they'll get onto Alabama for saying that, oh, you only beat us because of the wide receivers. Then they turn around and do the same thing. They're pathetic. Thank you.
So now that you've shown that you can at least hang with a great team, and you're moving into bowl season, is there anybody in particular that you would like to play, or you just don't even care?
Whew. Come on, water.
What did you?
Oh my God.
Would you got something spicy?
Yeah, my wife just brought me some chicken salad. It's good, but it's spicy. It's like a special chicken salad. But yeah, I want Auburn. If I could pick one team, it'd be Auburn. We have a good history with them. It used to be a big rivalry, and we're right there. We're not far from each other.
Yeah.
And we are both 6-6. We both got blown out at home by a group of 5 team this year. We both this past weekend we both gave our freaking hated in-state rivals hell.
Yeah, I'd like to see Auburn and Georgia Tech. I think that would be good.
I think it's a match made in heaven. I think that would be awesome. We haven't played them in a long time, and I think Auburn versus Georgia Tech in the Mayo Bowl would kick ass. I would go to it.
Oh, the Mayo Bowl is in Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go.
Right. All right. Well, you heard it from Sea-Dog, everybody. I was surprised that the game was as close as it was. But we saw Alabama struggle with Auburn. We saw Clemson struggle with South Carolina. We saw Florida State struggle with Florida. So it happens.
Yeah. unfortunately, being at the game, I missed all those games, which sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good time. And unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of I'm not so sure how likely it is we get Auburn. I think we might get a lot of people are talking about versus Rutgers and the Pinstripe Bowl.
That would be cool. I mean, wouldn't it?
I'm not going to the Bronx to the Pinstripe Bowl. Sorry.
Well, I probably wouldn't either. Although I wouldn't mind going seeing a bowl game in Yankee Stadium. I think that'd be a once in a lifetime thing.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not worth the travel up there and the cost for staying and all that. But you know.
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm excited to see us in our first bowl game since 2018.
Yeah,
since I started my channel.
Wow, yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, this would be your first bowl game on YouTube. That's kind of sad.
C-Dog channel history.
That's kind of sad.
No, we're making history. We're moving up, dude. But yeah, I don't really. I mean, Rutgers is kind of lame too. Like, who wants to freaking play Rutgers? But
yeah, but they're not a bad team though.
I'm just happy that we're getting a bowl. If it winds up being Rutgers, I mean, it's fine, whatever. But if I could pick, I would pick Auburn.
Yeah, I want Oregon State or West Virginia. It's looking more and more like it's probably going to be Oregon State.
Oregon State versus Clemson would be incredible.
Yeah.
I would love that. I would love that.
I would also like to see Oklahoma versus Clemson, but I think Oklahoma is going to get a better bowl than Clemson.
Yeah.
So they're much higher ranked.
Someone crazy suggested Georgia Tech possibly versus Southern Cal in the Sun Bowl.
Would you like that?
Yeah, hell
yeah. Yeah,
That'd be funny. There might be 130 points scored in that game because neither team has a defense that's worth anything.
Yeah. I don't know. I might take Georgia Tech if they played Southern Cal. Seriously.
Well, they wouldn't have Caleb Williams.
Plus, Georgia Tech has probably the luxury of you're not going to have any of your big name guys sitting out because, like you said, it's the first time you played in a bowl game. Anybody that you know, unless they transferred in from somewhere else that went to a bowl, this will be the first time they played in a bowl in their college career. So they probably won't sit out.
For a lot of these guys, it is. Yeah. I don't anticipate us having any because they're either. I don't think there's any going to the NFL. We don't have a very stacked senior class, so they're gonna, and all the seniors, like you said, haven't played in a bowl. Yeah, I don't expect us to have one single opt out.
Breaking Parallel says this is a meaningless conversation. Why? Because we're not talking about Georgia. This is the ACC show.
They can't stand when a conversation isn't about them. Do you want us to talk about how you freaking got pushed around the lines of scrimmage again? I just went on a 10-minute speech about the Georgia Tech game. What else do you want? You look like an idiot. I bet you were running around saying you blow us out too. Well, you're dead wrong. Okay? And if that disturbs you and upsets you, get used to it because Georgia Tech is here to stay.
What's up, D4?
Oh, D4?
D4 actually his team has a chance to go to the playoffs, man. Congratulations. Yeah. And also, you know what? Everybody really is like talking mostly about, you know, Georgia and Alabama, Michigan, Oregon. Like you don't hear a whole lot. Texas is kind of like flying underneath the radar right now.
Yeah, they are.
And look, if you're a potential playoff team, I think you want to fly under the radar. I think that's a good thing. And also, I think they probably have the least chance of getting upset this weekend out of all the teams. Well, I say probably Oregon. But
Oregon's a favorite.
Yeah, Oregon's favored they're favored by like 9 points, 9.5. I think we looked at it last night, like 9.5 points.
I can't believe it's that high.
So, but I don't think Oklahoma State's going to beat them. Well, Oklahoma State's a weird team. They're streaky. Like 1 week they'll go out there and look like a top 10 team, and then they'll lose to a nobody state. You know, it's like, but I don't know. It could end up being a good game, but I think that Texas is going to handle them. And then I don't know, man. If you're any of these teams that make the playoffs, you don't want to draw Texas in the first round. I guarantee you that.
Yeah,
Man.
everything that has needed to happen for Texas to get in has happened. Like, so far, and the beauty of it is that Texas could be responsible for the SEC not getting into the playoffs, which would be incredible.
Yeah, Tom says they need Florida State to lose.
Not necessarily. I think. No, I think if Florida State won, whoever out of the Pac-12, and then Michigan, and then Alabama won, what they really need is Alabama to win.
Yeah, because they have the head.
They'd have the head-to-head.
They have the head-to-head, so that is true. That's conceivable.
They wouldn't be able to leave out Florida State or Michigan being.
Well, see, that's the rub. That's where people are saying that Florida State would get left out because they say there's no way that the playoff is leaving an SEC champ out with one loss, which in a normal year I would certainly agree with that. But the fact that they have a loss head-to-head against Texas, that's going to come into play at some point. But
the head-to-head.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. We got some people in here, some other ACC folk. Well, welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Yo.
What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Just chilling, enjoying being 12-0. It's great. Fantastic.
I bet you are. Congrats, and also I'm sorry about Travis Hunter and Nuss and Rodemaker going down too. That freaking blows.
Yeah, that does suck, but
Is he
get it done against Louisville? Or
is
what?
he not playing for certain?
no, Tate should be able to play.
Oh.
I just know he's kind of dinged up a little bit.
Well, yeah. I mean, he got decapitated.
That's rough.
That was wild.
That was a dirty ass hit. It was dirty as hell.
You think you can get it done against Louisville or what?
Yeah. I have faith against the Cards. I do.
Louisville's pretty good now.
Louisville is pretty good, but I don't know why. I just feel like I really do. I think FSU is going to win the ACC this year. I do.
I think there's a real chance for sure.
That's what I wanted from the off season. That's all I want. I don't care how far we make it in the playoffs as long as we get that ACC.
Yeah, unfortunately, once you get to the playoffs, I think without Jordan, I think even with Jordan Travis, it would have been tough. But
yeah. And I didn't expect us to make the playoffs or whatever, but it's great to be in the position we're in now.
Yeah, good for you.
Well, most people are picking you to lose this weekend. Yeah. I'm still kind of on the fence about it. I don't. The problem is without Jordan Travis, I'm not sure Florida State can score to keep up with Louisville. Unless your defense just plays lights out and makes it a low-scoring game, Florida State's gonna have a hard time scoring. I think.
I think Tate's gonna be fine.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Well, at least he got a.
He's gonna shock the world, but I think he's gonna be consistent and make the correct decisions enough to win the game.
Would it be the worst thing? I know you want to win the ACC. That's number one. So forget about the playoffs for a second.
Right.
You want to win the ACC, but would it be the worst thing in the world to not win the ACC and not have to get embarrassed in the first round of the playoffs by somebody?
I mean, it wouldn't be the worst, but at the same time, I did like the ACC championship was my goal this year.
Yeah, right.
That was like,
yeah.
So, but if we lost it, 12-0. Who's going to be upset about an undefeated season?
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't be.
Exactly. So I think no matter what happens in the outcome, I think I'm very excited about where this team's heading, especially in the future.
I don't know. There's a lot of Florida State fans online that aren't.
Yeah, and you get those guys, but
and they bring up a valid point. I mean, Rodemaker's been there for 4 years, and he looks like this. That's not a good sign of player development.
That's not, but at the same time, though, we've seen what a developed starting quarterback, has been able to do under Mike Norvell, which
Here comes Slam to poop on the party.
Like before
Actually,
Mike Norvell, Jordan Travis was.
I agree with you, C-Dog, because I've made some of these UGA fans salty as fuck.
Well, now I should have been more specific to poop on the Florida State party, but yes, I don't think your efforts have gone unnoticed by me. That was incredible the other day. What you're doing there to Scott Kerr, that was amazing.
Like and like I told Pete, I like Scott. I don't know what the fuck his deal was.
I like Scott too. Hey, I was talking to Rec Talk afterwards. We were talking about how funny it was, and it's like, yeah, I love Scott Kerr. At the end of the day, though, you're a fucking bulldog, and that means you're the enemy. So, I mean, look, if I know nothing about you, and you're a Bulldog fan, I don't like you. You're in the negative.
Well, see, I don't have the hate for UGA.
I do.
But I do now.
I tried to tell everyone.
Where was this at? Where can I go watch it?
It was on my second channel on the midday show yesterday.
Oh, I forgot. That's why I ain't been seeing the midday show. You did put it on another channel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, there's a link to the second channel in the description. You need to go subscribe to it.
Old Scott Kerr got a little salty.
Thank you, Blue Devil Jaguar, for the super chat. We appreciate your supporting the show. Hopefully, Duke finds an amazing replacement for Elko so we can keep winning 7 games this season. Love you, Pete. I saw a rumor today. Who was the rumor I saw today? Damn, I already forgot. Oh, I know who it was. The defensive coordinator from Ohio State. What's his name?
Shit. He was at Texas Tech before, wasn't he?
Is it Smith?
Or no, he was at TCU.
I forget his name. I know we have an Ohio State fan in here. Lisa, can you tell us what his name is? Knowles?
Jim Knowles.
Yeah.
That's right, Knowles, yeah.
I think that'd be a great hire for them.
Yeah, I don't hate that hire.
No.
I mean, unfortunately, I think it's going to be much like it was with Elko. If he has any level of success, a bigger program is going to poach him too.
Sam Bell is backstage. Is Sam Bell? Aren't you an SEC fan? You're a Tennessee fan, aren't you, Sam?
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah.
What's up, y'all?
What is your thoughts on the ACC owning the SEC this year?
Let me see. Georgia Tech, man. I said Georgia was going to beat Georgia Tech, and you said Georgia Tech was going to beat Georgia, so you're dead wrong about that.
Well, it doesn't change the fact that the SEC has actually the SEC and the Big Ten have a losing record to the ACC.
Number 1 conference. It's nice being at the top.
I actually got to give that to the Pac-12 this year. Unfortunately, it's their last year in existence. But God, they sure put on a show.
Yeah, Pac-12 is different.
All right, I'm gonna bring in one more SEC guy. You guys, you're on the clock there. You got 5 minutes, and then we're gonna get back to the ACC people.
I just gotta say something. The Slim Shady Kings, the Miami Hurricanes are now on the clock.
Oh, little lizard.
Octavian, ain't nobody worried about Florida. Stop it.
Worried.
Y'all on the clock.
The Gators offseason just started.
Heading in the right direction. Octavian, we're heading in the right direction. You're heading in the wrong direction.
It's okay. Those Miami Hurricanes will find out the first game of the season. I hate Florida State too. I hate those bastards.
Thank you, Sir UGA, for the cash app. Appreciate you, brother. Mike says Slim is a legend, good and fair trash talk. Yeah, well, I don't care who was in the wrong, who was in the right. That was entertaining content as far as I'm concerned. So.
I do gotta say, since my team won't be playing in the bowl game,
you're in the portal, Octavian.
He's in the time traveling portal.
I'm transferring to the Clemson Tigers.
I can't take that sound. Octavian, something's wrong with your cricket phone, buddy. I don't know.
Well said.
Hey.
Thank you. My head's already splitting as it
Florida
is.
State is better than Miami.
This is factual.
Well, no shit, Sam. What gave you that idea? The fact that they beat us by 5? Is that what gave you that idea?
Yeah.
Might have something to do with it.
I still don't see how we got absolutely screwed on 2 replays for safeties in the same year. That still bugs the hell out of me.
Georgia's going to beat Bama in the SEC championship. So
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Oh no, Georgia's already proved that they don't know what to do with a running quarterback, and Jalen Milroe is 10 times better than Haynes King. Jalen Milroe is going to absolutely butt fuck that defense.
Oh my God.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Georgia's going to beat Bama on Saturday.
No, Sam.
I don't know about that, Slim.
If Georgia loses Saturday, it'll be Georgia beating Georgia.
So,
Sam, who's Tennessee going to play in a bowl game? Do you have a team that you want to play?
We don't know yet.
Well, I know you don't know. I know that. I'm asking. All right, who do you want to play?
I don't know yet. Because I was at the Tennessee and Clemson game last in Miami for the Orange Bowl, and Tennessee really just put it to Clemson.
Yeah, that was back when Tennessee was good last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're talking about this year, Sam. Who do you want to play in a bowl game this year?
I don't know yet. I don't know.
You don't know who you want to play?
Miami. Tennessee versus Miami in the bowl game.
No, it was Ohio State. We were supposed to play Ohio State for the bowl game, but that blew up when we got 4 losses to do that. It blew up.
When were you supposed to play Ohio State?
End of the season. Like when during the next bowl game came around, we had about
when Tennessee makes the playoffs,
2 losses, and Ohio State had a loss too. But when we got 4, it's not happening.
I don't know. Maybe you'll get lucky and play an ACC team.
I want to play Ohio State in the bowl game.
That ain't happening.
But that's not happening.
No, because they're going to a New Year's 6 bowl game. You're going to like the Birmingham Bowl. How about Tennessee and Georgia Tech? How about that? That'd be good.
Aren't they a little? What's their record? 8-4.
Yeah, they're 8-4.
Yeah,
I think Tennessee and Clemson are going to play again in the bowl game.
I'd like to play Tennessee, but not this year. A bowl game.
I think Clemson and Tennessee are going to play in the bowl game again.
I would like that.
Pete said revenge.
He wants revenge. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 terrible offenses.
Clemson's hot right now, just like they are at the end of every season. But.
Yeah. Well, Jeremiah Trotter just declared for the draft today, and he's not playing in the bowl game. They're their best linebacker, but still, they're loaded on defense. I don't think that's going to matter.
No bowl game.
I would like to see that. I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't. I think that would be it.
I want to see Tennessee play Miami because Miami's not really good, and Tennessee would Bucks just drag them all the way on the football field, and Tennessee wins into the game. Tennessee drags Miami all over the field in a ball game.
I guess that's conceivable. Hoghead says Tennessee will play either North Carolina or NC State. Yeah. NC State and Tennessee would probably be good. I don't know. North Carolina fell off the map.
NC State would win.
Well, I also think that game would be pointless because I'm fairly certain Drake May won't play.
I think North
Probably
Carolina's going to play Ohio State.
North Carolina and Ohio State. What a terrible game that would be. That would be an awful game.
How many losses does North Carolina have?
Oh, are they 8-4, 7-5, or 8-4? I don't know. They lost.
They lost to NC State, so I think they're 7-5.
Yeah, they lost what 4 straight, I think, to end the season.
It's like so.
God, man, they just went.
So
they nosedived.
Make them 6-6 then.
No, I think they won 7.
They won 7.
If they lost 4 straight to end the season, they had 2 losses before that, back to back to Virginia and Georgia Tech.
Oh, I can pull it up. That's how bad they are. I don't even know what their record was.
I want to see Alabama play Ohio State in a bowl game when Ohio State gets 2 losses.
Let's see here. Well, damn, they're so bad. The Google machine doesn't even want to tell me how bad their record is. Let's see here. 8-4.
8-4.
Okay.
Yep. So
Who does have a one loss right now in the SEC, Pac-12, Big 10, or Big 12 or something? The SEC. Who's got one loss right now? Ohio State does. Who else? Bama does.
Texas does. They lost to Oklahoma.
Yeah. But here's what the matchup's going to be in the bowl game. Texas will play Ohio State in the bowl game.
Well, Texas might go to the playoffs.
Texas is going to the playoffs.
If Texas wins this weekend, they're going to the playoff probably.
Yeah, I'm about to say if they lose, they're probably going to play Ohio State.
They're going to beat Oklahoma State.
Sam thinks everybody's playing Ohio State. I got that out of this conversation.
Right.
All right, Sam, we're going to move on with the ACC folk, man. Thanks for calling in.
Bye, Sam.
Oh, all right.
Hello.
Let's look. We'll talk a little bit about last week before we get into this week. I mean, there's only one ACC team to talk about this week. So.
Yes, sir. And that's Wake Forest. All right, guys.
So we started out the week last week, Miami and Boston College. Miami went out there and just put the absolute foot on the throat up in Boston, 45-20. Tyler Van Dyke threw for 290 yards, and now he's in the portal.
Yep. Well, I knew that was coming. As much as Miami fans have dogged him online, I put it out on Twitter. I said, y'all motherfuckers deserve him to leave.
I said the same thing. I said if Tyler Van Dyke has a social media account of any kind, and he's been looking at it throughout the season, he's doing exactly what the fans asked him to do. So, and where do you think he's going to end up? I heard rumors about SMU. What do you think about that?
That would make sense to me.
Of course, SMU will be in the ACC next year. Does Florida State play SMU next year? Clemson does. I mean, not Florida State. Does Miami play SMU next year?
We play SMU.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I don't think we do.
Miami plays at Cal, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Play at Cal.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, we're headed to the West Coast.
Is it the first time Miami's played in California?
No.
Oh, okay.
Miami beat, oh God, what was it? 99, I think it was. Miami played number 1 UCLA at UCLA.
Yeah, Clemson has to wait all the way until 2026 to travel out to protest University, unfortunately.
And then, of course, you had the Rose Bowl in 01. They played out there. Yeah, I want Dabo to show up carrying a cross on the field. I need that in my life.
Well, he won't even have to. They'll just protest. They'll find something to protest. Who knows what will be going on in 2026, but they'll find some reason to protest. Yeah. They should be protesting how bad their football program is.
Yeah, they should.
Didn't they beat the brakes off of UCLA last week, though? They did.
Yeah, well, Chip Kelly just got fired, too.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear about
Chip
that.
Kelly just got fired for Cal?
No, Chip Kelly was at UCLA.
UCLA.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I'm sorry. My fault. UCLA.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw that a couple of weeks ago that they were going to fire him.
Yeah, but they didn't. As far as I know, they didn't.
I'm sure they're just waiting on. They're doing the rational thing and waiting for the season to end.
I'm pretty sure. Well, the season's over for them. I'm pretty sure that they had made an announcement yesterday that he'll be back next year.
Well, if they did, I missed that.
Yeah.
I have missed a bunch of crap the past couple of days because the joy of having kids, they got me sick for the 3rd time in 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Did you hear the funny news that I read last night on the Lunch Money Show about Jimbo Fisher, the rumors of him going to Vanderbilt?
I didn't. I took some NyQuil and passed out.
Oh, my God.
And why anyone would ever hire him if you can't make a bowl at...
Well, it's Vanderbilt. I mean...
I guess they're not known for their... I don't know.
I mean, West Virginia fans apparently want him something serious.
Oh God.
I don't know why. Like why he couldn't win at Texas A&M if you can't win there. Where are you
Well,
gonna win?
he's from there.
Yeah.
Well, I get that, but it doesn't mean he's any good. I mean, Jeff Collins is from Atlanta. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not saying this. I agree with you. I don't think that would be a good hire for them, but that's why they want him, because he's from there.
Yeah.
And
I
Joey
think it'd
Foster
be a
wants him
to
something
be fair
serious.
though, I think it'd be a better hire than the coach they currently have.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, man. Neil Brown had a good year.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, we did.
Well, from what they were projected to do, he definitely did.
Yeah.
All right then.
They won 8 games or something.
Oh no.
Yeah, they were projected to win 4 or 5 games, and they won 8. So why
Yeah.
would you even be thinking about firing Neil Brown?
Now, I think he saved his job. But I think Jimbo Fisher is actually a good hire for Vanderbilt. And the funny thing is, he's getting paid whatever it is, $7 million a year by A&M. And if they pay him whatever $3 million, he'll be making $10 or $11 million a year coaching at Vanderbilt.
Well, there's a clause in a lot of these contracts. If you get another job, they don't have to pay you your buyout.
Well, then he wouldn't go there if that was the case. That would be stupid.
Yeah. I think he's gonna sit on a beach and collect his money for a while.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
I would if I was him.
That'd be the smart thing to do.
Yeah,
Get paid
damn
to sit on a
straight.
damn beach.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. Some of these guys, they just eat and shit football, so it's not like
Yeah.
Well, I get it, but you want to pay me $7 million a year to sit my ass in a lounge chair? Okay.
Yeah.
They paid Jimbo $100 million to have almost an identical record to Kevin Sumlin. Yeah, they did. They did. Speaking of same records, this is a shocking stat. Do you know Shane Beamer has a worse record than Will Muschamp through his first 3 seasons at South Carolina?
I did.
Yeah.
Only because Jackpot pointed it out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's ready for Shane Beamer to be fired. The wheels are falling off in Columbia.
Well, I don't agree with that either. I think I realize they underperformed this year, but his first 2 years they overperformed. So
I don't know.
know.
Pretty much. Look, anybody not named Steve Spurrier. Yeah. Now they want Steve Spurrier Jr. there. They think he's going to recreate. He's going to recreate, like, channel his dad's spirit or something. I don't know. They don't realize it's a different person.
I guess.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Georgia at Georgia Tech. Sea-Dog was there, 31-23. This game, Georgia Tech were they leading at the half?
No,
they were down.
Touchdown.
Oh,
They did score first, though.
yeah.
They scored twice.
Everybody scored
7
first on
and they were up
Georgia.
10, right? Or no?
I didn't even think of anything of it whenever we did, because they'd give up the first touchdown every week.
Who does? Georgia?
Yeah.
No. Anyway, I mean, Georgia was favored by what, 24 or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, Georgia's notorious for not covering spreads under Kirby.
I think they've done a pretty good job this year. I don't know. I haven't bet this year against the spread, so I wouldn't know. But Florida State at Florida, 24-15. This game was a nail biter, to say the least.
Yeah, it was.
It was actually one of the better games on Saturday, if you watched it, from an excitement standpoint. But anyway, Florida State found a way to get it done. All they needed was for Louisville to win. And Louisville didn't, unfortunately. But a win for the ACC. Congratulations, true Seminole and Seminole fans. You did it with a backup quarterback. Well, Florida had a backup quarterback, too. So there is that.
He didn't look terrible. Max Brown, I think is his name.
Yeah. You know what? He didn't look terrible. You're right. I was kind of impressed with him. He can run.
Yeah, he can.
I'm not going to say. Look, if you're a Florida fan, I don't know what the situation with Graham Mertz is, but I'd be kind of questioning whether or not Brown should be the starter next year. What is Graham
He's a
Mertz's
true
status?
freshman too, I believe.
Yeah. So.
I think this may be the only year Graham Mertz had, I think. Don't quote me on that. But
Thank you, JT Brown, for this super chat. Appreciate you. Very generous of you. Love how Cameron Ward gets 10 offers for $1 million each when he's not in the portal yet. But yet everyone piles on Dabo over the portal, and the NCAA beats up Harbaugh for buying a cheeseburger for a player. Yeah, my head is already starting to spin with the transfer portal rumors. It's unbelievable. First of all, nobody's allowed to be offering anybody anything right now. The window hasn't opened up yet. So if anybody is contacting and offering money to players to transfer at this time, they're breaking the rules. And that's what JT Brown is saying right here.
well, and that's the rumor about Florida State and Florida right now. Apparently, the rumor is there's already a bidding war between those two for Tyler Van Dyke.
Problem is you have to prove it. I mean, look, this is what's happening is what we all thought was going to happen.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know where people thought that this wasn't going to happen. They're like, no, it's going to be fine. The universities aren't paying the players, and there's going to be a window where they're allowed to do stuff. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And
I've even gone so far as now the state of Missouri has passed laws to where high school kids can get NIL deals. So now you're just straight up paying for talent.
That's insane.
Yep.
High school players, my God.
And I mean, at that point, once state legislatures get involved, I mean, it's out of the NCAA's hands. They have no authority there.
No, they don't. I mean, well, they can't supersede the law. You're right. Big Barney Ross, thank you. If the University of Miami opened a restaurant on the moon, fans would complain. Great food, but no atmosphere. What's the name? You ever seen the movie Spaceballs?
Well, who hasn't?
Well, some people haven't.
Comb the desert.
What's the name of that diner they go to? The space diner, where the alien pops out of that guy's stomach after he eats the breakfast. Restaurant on the moon. Great food, but shitty atmosphere.
I'm not going to take that kind of lip from a Kentucky fan.
Kentucky at Louisville. Louisville, I got a bone to pick with you.
Uh-oh.
You ruined it for the ACC. Now, if Louisville beats Florida State with Florida State's backup quarterback, the ACC gets left out of the playoffs. You know what? I don't really care because I'm not a Louisville or a Florida State fan, but I'm rooting for Florida State this week, and for one reason and one reason only. Because
to keep the SEC out of the playoffs?
Because they're going to take somebody's playoff spot, and whoever's playoff spot that is, they're going to spend the next 12 months crying about it, and I'm here for it. I don't care what happens in the play. I don't care if Florida State makes the playoffs and gets blown out 63-0 in the first round. That won't stop the crying from whoever they take a spot from. So.
Well, of course it's not. I mean, listen, I mean, we've been ragging on Georgia fans, but, I mean, Alabama fans have gotten this reputation long before then. Florida fans gotten that reputation long before then. I mean, that's just a conference full of soft feelings, so they're all going to whine and cry.
Octavian claims Mertz is going to the NFL, so that would mean that Brown is most likely going to be the starter. Are you happy about that, Octavian? You should be. I think that guy's got potential.
Mertz is going to the NFL, huh?
I'm not sure if that's the greatest idea in the world, honestly. Not unless he's not eligible anymore. I don't know, but
yeah, I'm not sure that he's got any more eligibility.
Man, what a disaster he was in college. Remember, he had that one good game.
He didn't have he didn't play terrible this year. As a matter of fact, Florida's issues this year weren't Mertz. He might have been one of the best players on the team.
Yeah, which is alarming.
Right. So anyway, Florida State and Louisville play this week. We'll talk about that in a minute. North Carolina and NC State, we already talked about the wheels fell off in Chapel Hill. They had stars in their eyes, delusions of grandeur of North Carolina finally winning the ACC and possibly making the playoffs, after about week 6. And, well, I don't know. I still don't. I mean, we all knew their defense hasn't been great, but they regressed as the season went on. I don't know. I mean, how does Gene Chizik survive this?
How is Mac Brown surviving this?
Well, Mac Brown survives it because he's Mac Brown. They're not firing him.
I mean, how is there not a huge call to get rid of him at this point?
Well, some of the North Carolina fans are saying it's probably time. I have heard that.
Because it is.
No,
he's not.
I think it is. I think it's time to. But they're telling me he's coming back next year for at least one more year.
I mean, he's 97 years old, isn't he?
He's actually the same age as Nick Saban. He just looks 20 years older than Saban.
Jesus. Talk about rode hard and put up wet.
Tar Heroes for Life says, I'm calling for Mac Brown's job. Yeah. I think it's time for him to go, too. And listen, I like Mac Brown. He's one of my favorite coaches in football. But I think it's time. And also, he will have left that program in a better spot than when he took over, no matter who the next coach is. He's made it a more desirable job, I think, than it would have been before him.
Well, yeah, but that's not Larry Fedora isn't a high bar to raise.
Still, I mean, more talk has been surrounding North Carolina football over the past few years than normal, right? Everyone only thinks of them as a basketball school. So just that in itself tells you that what he's brought there. And I think they could get a decent name in there whenever Mac Brown does leave. I feel like he's hanging on too long. He's staying one or 2 years too long. He might ought to retire after last year.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he wanted to win the ACC at least once.
Yeah. He's a nice guy and everything and a great coach, but I think Father Time has caught up with him. Clemson at South Carolina. Clemson 16-7. It is possible to win a game without scoring an offensive touchdown.
Yes, it is.
If you look at the stat sheet on this game for both teams, it's utterly pathetic on offense. I mean, Spencer Rattler was the leading passer with 112 yards.
Whew.
Now, Clemson controlled the clock. It was like, I think South Carolina only had the ball for 20 minutes of the game. Clemson had it for 40. 3 and out. I mean, it was 3 and out night for South Carolina. Their number one running back, Mario Anderson, had 13 rushes for 35 yards. It was just an abysmal night for the South Carolina offense, not to mention 2 back-to-back turnovers on back-to-back plays by the same defender, Khalil Barnes, for the Tigers. And that was the only touchdown that Clemson did score, was a scoop and score to start the game. But anyway, Clemson got out of there with a win somehow. But that did not prevent Cade Klubnik from throwing his weekly pick, a head-scratching pick. I don't even care. They did what I wanted them to do. I said, run the ball 100 times and win by 1. I don't care how you do it, just win. And that's exactly what they did. So,
yeah, but what the hell is going on with Clemson's offense?
Yeah, well, if you're not a Clemson fan, you could only name one receiver on that team this past weekend. None of the receivers played. So, which is why they ran the ball. Well, they did what they had to do. Pittsburgh at Duke. Did anybody watch this game?
No.
I didn't.
No. Why would you?
I can't even tell you who won the game.
It was 30-19. Duke won.
That's amazing.
Go Dookie.
Duke won, and then Mike Elko was out 5,000 to Texas A&M.
Love that coach speak.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago, he was saying, no, I'm not interested in going anywhere. I love it here. My wife loves it here. Look, if you're married, your wife will love it on the moon if they pay you $7 million a year to go there. So, but Texas A&M did learn their lesson with their contract with Jimbo. They didn't give Elko anything close to what they gave Fisher.
Well, and to be honest, when they hired Fisher, he had earned it.
Well, yeah, I mean, he earned it several years before with the national championship, but when he left Florida State, he left Florida State in a bad way. I mean, it wasn't like he was winning. At the time he left, it wasn't like he was winning at Florida State. The wheels had fallen off already there.
Yeah, I think he went like 6-6 his last year, and he had to reschedule a game that had been canceled just to make it to 6-6.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they gave him I think they gave him what they could afford to give him, considering the fact that they're still paying Jimbo Fisher. They gave him a 6-year, $7 million a year contract, non-guaranteed. So if he does get fired, they don't have to pay him, out through the nose.
Learn their lesson.
They learned their lesson. I think it was a good hire, though. Duke fans are a little upset with Mike Elko, the way that he handled it. Some of the players were pretty public about. They said he did us dirty. But I don't blame. I mean, do you blame the guy for taking the job? Really, I don't.
Well, I don't blame him for taking the job, but like if you're telling your players that you're staying and then you dip out, like that's pretty shitty.
It's a two-way street. I mean, how many of these players tell their coaches I'm staying and then hit the transfer portal the next day?
Well, I think that's shitty too.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. So we'll see if Duke does indeed hire the guy from Ohio State. I think that would be a good hire for them. Wake Forest at Syracuse. Syracuse goes out there and 1-1 for the Gipper. 1-1 without Dino Babers against a terrible Wake Forest team. I'm interested to see who they're going to get.
I don't know. Manny Diaz his name's been thrown around for that job.
The funniest one was Dan Mullen, but Dan Mullen said no.
Yeah, well, so did Mike Elko.
Dan Mullen has really repaired his reputation.
Dan Mullen's not a half bad commentator. I ain't even gonna lie. Like I thought he was gonna be pretty shitty during that Boston College game, but it wasn't so.
Who is there was another hire today. Somebody was it Syracuse? Actually, that's it is who it is. There's Syracuse, I think, is looking at hiring the defensive backs coach from Georgia. Did anybody else hear that?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Fran Brown. I don't know much about him. I know Georgia has pretty good defensive backs, so that's all I know. And last but not least, Virginia Tech at Virginia. Virginia Tech, again, won 55-17. I thought Virginia might be able to pull it out, but something about this game.
I don't get it, man.
The Cavaliers just have a hard time beating the Hokies.
Wow. I mean, they got blown off a field.
Yeah, it wasn't close.
Poor Tony Elliott.
So that wraps up the regular season for the ACC. Moving on to championship week here. Oregon and Washington. This is pretty interesting. You see a lot of big lines. You don't normally see in conference championship week lines that are this big. Oregon's favored by 9.5 in a rematch game that they lost the first time. And Washington's doing their best impression of North Carolina, minus actually losing. They're undefeated right now. But yet they're a 9.5-point favorite to somebody they beat earlier in the year. But Oregon's playing their best ball of the year. Washington is not. I'd be surprised if Washington won this game. The winner of this game will make the playoffs, though.
Oh, yeah.
No matter which one it is. Who you guys got in that? What do you think about that line?
I think Oregon can win by more.
Sea-Dog?
This is a really tough one. I guess I'll go with Oregon. Everybody's saying Oregon. I don't know.
Well, they obviously look better right now. I mean, Washington's doing their best impression of, 2017 Miami winning every game by a point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess Oregon. They probably, it's hard to beat a team twice, especially this year's Oregon. I mean, they're really good, so I would probably think Oregon.
Yeah, the extra storyline in this game is that Bo Nix is still fighting for the Heisman, and he'll get one more game than Jaden Daniels will get since LSU is not playing a conference title game. So if Bo Nix goes out there and throws for 5 or 6 touchdowns and 1,000,000 yards, he might make the Heisman a little bit more interesting. Because right now, I think Jaden Daniels is probably the favorite to win it. But so he has some extra motivation in this. And Washington's defense is just falling apart. Oregon's
Like, nobody ever thought it was elite, but it's definitely fallen off the map.
They escaped barely last week against Washington State, and Washington State's not very good. Anyway, Oregon 9.5. I don't really like the line, but Oklahoma State and Texas. Look at this line. Texas favored by over 2 touchdowns, 14.5 points against Oklahoma State. Oh.
Well, I'd probably take Oklahoma State to cover.
I think
I don't know, man.
These lines are a bettor's nightmare. They're not good.
Yeah.
I mean, the way Texas has been running it up on people, and Oklahoma State's a fucking dyslexic football team.
It makes you wonder, how did Texas lose to Oklahoma?
Rivalry game, shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some people want to deny it, but I mean, you kind of saw it this week. You saw it with Florida State and Miami. As much as Uncle Lou wants to argue with me about that, there's a reason that game's always close. It is what it is.
Yeah, I got the Longhorns winning this. I don't like that line. I don't know. I could see them winning by 10 or something. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they did blow them out, because Oklahoma State's lost to some bad teams this year. I'm surprised they're in the game to begin with. That just shows you how competitive the Big 12 was this year.
Yeah. I mean, I as far as betting, I don't like the line, but I wouldn't be surprised if Texas covered. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't.
Much like Oregon and Washington, the winner of this game will make. I mean, and if Texas wins this game, they will make the playoffs, not Oklahoma State. If Texas loses, they're out. 2-loss non-conference champ there.
Well, I think Texas needs help too.
Why?
Well, if Georgia wins, Georgia, Michigan, Oregon, and Florida State will be in.
So it would come down to Texas versus Oregon.
This is a really crowded playoff picture.
It
really
is.
Late in the year. Usually it works itself out most of the time by now, but
And they would absolutely get more credit for beating Washington than for Texas beating Oklahoma State.
That's true, and Oregon's ranked higher right now than Texas. So you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're ranked one spot higher, but still that matters.
I think Texas needs Georgia to lose.
yeah,
They need Georgia to lose to Bama, and
because then they got the
they're in
head-to-head.
the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Georgia and Alabama, 5.5 point Georgia favored. I think they probably would have been favored by more than that if they hadn't struggled against Georgia Tech. No offense, Sea-Dog.
No, dude, like we're literally like, look, they're the ones supposed to be this and that and whatever else. they're supposed to be, you know.
Well, and let's be honest about it. It's more common to see Bama struggle against Auburn than it is Georgia against Georgia Tech.
Yeah, these are probably the two most talented teams on paper in the country. Brock Bowers is back. Ladd McConkey's back. Carson Beck's a better quarterback than Jalen Milroe. And the defenses are about equal, in my opinion. Actually, I like
Georgia's weakness is going to be Milroe, though.
Why? Because he can run?
You just saw it with Haynes King. I absolutely think that's why Georgia struggled with Georgia Tech, is because of the ability of the quarterback to run.
Now, you got to give a little bit of credit to Georgia Tech's defense.
Oh, boy.
What?
That's just not something that is happening this year. I don't know. It's not.
Well, I mean, he created some turnovers.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in like when we needed them to keep them, just when you thought the game was over.
I'm not saying give credit to Georgia Tech's defense for the season. I'm saying, for last week's game, yeah.
No, we played good. They could only score, what was it, 31 on us? We did definitely miss a couple opportunities on offense, which sucks. But
I heard if you can't beat Georgia Tech by 30, you're not a playoff team.
Yeah, it's hilarious how it reminded me of last year, because the same thing happened last year, right?
Yeah.
The game was closer both years with Georgia than it has been against Clemson. It's just funny.
Little Whitey says, I'd take the under for Alabama versus Georgia. The over-under is 54.5. I agree with you. I would take the under. I probably would take Georgia at under 6 points too. If it went over 6, I might take Alabama with the points, but at 5.5, I'm taking the Bulldogs there.
Yeah.
And look, if Brock Bowers and McConkey have a good game, Georgia wins. I think that's what it comes down to. JT Brown, thank you for the super chat. Notre Dame just fired Chauncey Stuckey. Yeah, so Notre Dame fired their wide receivers coach, Chauncey Stuckey. Who is who? Does anybody know who he is?
No.
Former Clemson wide receiver. So, the Clemson fans have been extremely unhappy with their current wide receivers coach, and I think there's a lot of validity to that. And we all know how much Dabo likes to hire former players.
I'd be pissed if he did it.
Chauncey Stuckey is on the market. So what are the chances that Chauncey Stuckey is on the sidelines in Clemson next year?
Pretty high.
And I saw mixed reviews from Notre Dame fans on Twitter about how they feel about that firing. Some of them said good. Chris Tyree, the number 1 wide receiver, just announced he's transferring. But I've heard other ones complaining, saying that Chauncey Stuckey is the scapegoat for the offense being bad. And so this was more of a trying to cover up the real problem type of firing. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on either way.
All right, dude. I'm fixing to bounce out of here a little early because I got to take some medicine and go to bed.
All right, man.
Fever and shit.
All right, get better.
All right, man.
See you later.
See ya.
Later.
The ACC's finest, SMU, +4 in their championship game against Tulane. Tulane, boy, I would have rather had Tulane come to the ACC than SMU, if I'm being honest, and also Memphis.
Yeah.
As well.
Memphis, yeah. I know you've been hammering that Memphis.
Memphis and Tulane, those are the two I've really been hammering, yeah. I would have liked UCF before they went to the Big 12, but, that's a different story. Anyway, Tulane's favored by 4 points. I think they win this. They are borderlining right now on a Power 5 level team. So whoever gets Tulane in a bowl, they might go to a New Year's Six bowl game if they win this. And I don't care who you are, you don't want to play them. I mean, I would rather go to a New Year's Six bowl game and lose to a Power 5 team than go and lose to a Group of 5 team. That's embarrassing. Tulane and Notre Dame. That would be good. Louisville and Florida State, 2.5 points. Man. I'm actually a little bit shocked that Florida State is favored in this. What do you think?
No, I'm not. I mean, it's tough, but, Florida State's... It doesn't seem like betting lines have a lot of... they take a lot in the, injuries into consideration like you think they would. Especially like a quarterback,
Yeah, little Whitey, I am shocked that you're favored. Only because of the quarterback situation. That's the only reason why.
Yeah. But it seems like a lot of the times when you think that they would take that and, it would sway the line, it doesn't. So, I don't know.
Yeah, and the only reason I think they are favored, it's less than a field goal. And that's with Louisville losing to Kentucky last week, and I think that's the reason why. Because Vegas, their only job is to get people to bet on the game. So the public perception is that Louisville, lost to Kentucky, so that's the last thing on people's minds. So they set the line the way it is because of that. And Florida State won. And most people, look in the chat right now, most people are picking Louisville to win this game.
Yeah.
I hope Florida State wins just for the reason I stated earlier. I hope that they win and go undefeated and ruin somebody else's hopes from some other conference.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be an interesting one to watch, though. Michigan and Iowa hammer the under. 35.5. Iowa has more chance of scoring a touchdown on defense than they do on offense in this game.
I don't know, man. I've seen it. We saw this game last year, and Michigan just kicked their ass, and it wasn't really close. So it wasn't like their special defense was able to do anything,
I think Iowa might score 7.
Yeah.
Maybe. So, and Iowa's defense is very good. Michigan could score 25 points, which isn't shabby, against Iowa, and it would still go under.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa last week scored 13 points and won the game. 13-10. So.
All right.
There you go. But Michigan will win the game, no doubt, and they'll get into the playoffs. So that's going to take up one of those playoff spots. And they have a legitimate chance of winning it all, depending on who they draw in the first round of the playoffs. If Georgia wins, gets the 1 seed, Michigan wins, gets the 2 seed, then Michigan will probably end up playing either Oregon or Texas or Florida State. So they have a chance.
Right.
All right, Sea-Dog. That's all the games, buddy.
It's sad. The season's over.
I know.
It's pretty sad. What are we going to do?
What we always do.
Yeah.
The show must go on.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll wrap it up just a little bit early tonight. There's no more games to talk about here.
Yeah.
So we saw the CFP rankings, and it's going to get interesting here over the next week after these games are over. So there's going to be at least 1 or 2 teams on the outside looking in that feels like that they are playoff worthy. But this will be the last year we have to worry about that in particular because we're going to the 12 games next year. Mm-hmm. Of course, even with the 12 teams, there'll be the 13th and 14th team that feels like they should be in there, but it won't be as bad as it will with the 4. Mm-hmm. So, good luck to all your teams. I wish my team was competing for a championship this week. I know Sea-Dog feels the same way.
Mine is.
Now, since this is the ACC show, who are you rooting for this weekend in the ACC title game?
Alabama, baby.
In the ACC title game.
Roll Tide. Alabama's trying to whoop that ass.
I didn't realize that Alabama was in the ACC now.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Alabama's going to whoop that ass. Georgia fans think that they are freaking – they think they're so freaking good. Well, they got another thing coming. I'm telling you what.
That's great. Now answer the question. Who do you want to win the ACC championship?
Oh, the ACC?
Yeah.
Shit, I don't know. I guess it literally depends on if Georgia wins or not. That literally depends. So, like, if Georgia wins, then I want Louisville to win because I would want them to not get an easy bye week against Florida State in the playoffs. You know what I mean? If Georgia loses, I want
look at this. There's some 4D chess going on here.
If Georgia loses, I want Florida State to win. So it literally just depends.
So you think if Georgia loses and Florida State wins, there's a chance that the SEC gets left out completely. That's the reason you're saying that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I got
at that point, Georgia would be left out, which would be great for me.
Momo, I said I want Florida State to win.
So
I want Florida State to win. Go Noles. I'll even do that dumbass chop y'all do.
So I don't know what's do we know the times of these games? Let's see.
Yeah, they're right here. Florida State and Louisville is at 8 p.m. At the same time as Michigan and Iowa. Those are the night games. Georgia and Alabama is at 4 p.m.
Okay.
So you'll know who wins that game before. Yeah. So that works perfectly for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll know who I'm rooting for by the time the game comes around.
There's 3 night games. Oregon and Washington's also at night. So the only time the early game is Oklahoma State and Texas. That's at noon.
Well, I'm stoked we get the I'm stoked that we're gonna get the Pac-12 championship on Friday night where we can focus on that. I'm all for Thursday,
Friday night. Games. Friday night. That's right.
Because then I can just devote all my attention to it.
Oh, that brings me to my announcement here. I forgot that was on Friday night. I normally do a call-in show on Friday night. This Friday night, instead of doing a call-in show, there's going to be a game on. I'm gonna stream that. So everyone tune in at 8 p.m. on Friday night, and I'll be streaming Oregon and Washington, the Pac-12 championship game. Mm-hmm. All right. All right, Sea-Dog, another great show, another great week, my friend.
Hell yeah, dude. Go ACC.
Go ACC. Go Noles. Oh! Go White Tonto. All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Have a good night.
Later on.
All right, everybody. That's going to do it for me as well. Thanks for tuning into the ACC show. Had a lot of fun. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. on the second channel. If you're not a member of the second channel, there's a link to it in the description. We'll do the midday show over there. And then tomorrow night at 10 p.m. on this channel, we'll do the college football call-in show. And that's it from over here. Y'all have a great Tuesday night. We'll see you tomorrow.